most unromantic of settings, amid a backdrop of protests and dire predictions, a shock climate coupling emerged.
The United States and China have no shortage of differences, but on climate, cooperation is the only way to get this job done.
The world's two biggest emitters, stop it, and rival superpowers together at last.
The statement lays out important steps to phase down unabated coal in this decade as fast as is achievable.
Curbing methane emissions, combating deforestation and boosting clean energy, also part of the agreement between the US and China, who, by the way, Australia has been kind of obsessed with on the climate front.
China emits as much emissions as we do in 16 days.
More than the OECD combined.
Certainly substantially better than China.
Do you trust China? Do you think they're going to reduce their emissions?
Apparently, yes.
China accepted that. They will make best efforts to accelerate the work of phasing down.
And these guys weren't the only ones feeling the love. Enter the X. France also spotted getting cozy with our number one love interest, the pair kissing and making up after that awkward AUKUS affair.
We had a very fruitful meeting.
But as others enjoy the love-in, Australia is yet again on the outer in almost every way.
Australia can and must chart its own unique path.
Overnight, the terms of the draft Glasgow Accord were released. Australia reportedly working to water down its key measure, which would see nations that haven't updated their 2030 emissions targets, aka us, forced to do better next year.
I think everybody knows who needs to do what.
If I'm honest, COP26 doesn't really do much good for Australia's reputation.
So, with Australia's closest allies and frenemies all buddying up behind our backs, where does that leave us?
Sort of feels like that song really summed it up, doesn't it, Amy? Is Scott Morrison now right out there on his own?
Yeah, but Australia was always right there, out on their own with this. Although we've got Iraq and Saudi Arabia and those sorts of countries behind us, we don't actually have a climate plan. We don't have anything that we're doing differently. We're not doing anything for this decade, which the rest of the world is focused on. We've got a plan to do pretty much exactly what we're already doing and hoping technology solves it for 2050, when none of those people are going to be in the parliament and some of them won't be alive.
Except one of the elements of the agreement that seems to be coming out of COP26 is a meeting again next year to revise 2030 targets, which I think would be really interesting. Because let's say the coalition wins the election, which is a realistic chance, then they have to front up again.
They do, and if they have to come up with a 2030 target, then, who knows what the Nationals will do then, and we could just start this whole process all over again, which Australia does not need. It needs certainty for investment, but it also just needs people to stop treating this like politics and take it seriously, because the planet is warming. This is people's futures. Their change is coming. This isn't politics, this is real life. And if we don't start actually treating it like real life, instead of just coming up with slogans, we're going to do absolutely nothing, and the entire country is going to be left behind.